Sure.
Can you take them out and tell me about them?
Yeah, so I got this one on the day before Christmas. I mean, not the day, but the day before Christmas Eve from my teacher.
Oh. Have you read? You're just in the middle of reading it?
No, I'm done.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
finished it?
Yeah, and then this is Nate the Great and the Funny Crew, and it's about he finds a note on his doorstep, but it's ripped. So then he goes out and finds all the papers. And this one is about a dog, and his name is Jack, and he has all sorts of names because sometimes he runs away and sometimes he just gets sold.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't read that, but I like the back.
Okay.
And then this one is my favorite. This is from my house. It's called 8 Years Old, but I'm not 8 yet, but I really like it, and I'm in the middle. And it has all sorts of stories, and I'm in the middle of one that's called How the Bee Became.
Oh, so you've got 4 books in your book bag. How come you have so many?
Because sometimes we do this rotation called Read to Sell or the Daily 5, and when we choose Read to Sell, sometimes we finish our books. And we're not allowed to get up and go find different books, so we have to just read books that we already have.
Okay. I noticed that these are all really great chapter books and they're fiction. Do you ever like to read nonfiction?
Yeah, I read those sometimes, but it's hard to find those in our room.
Oh, so you use your classroom library to make your book bin. Okay. Well, can you pick one of the books and then I'm going to do a Just Right book conference with you?
I think I'll do 8 Years Old.
Okay. So tell me about your book. What's the title?
So it's called 8 Years Old and a Treasure of Stories.
Oh, so it's a lot of short stories in one chapter book. And it looks like you've at least read one of the stories. Do you like it so far?
Yes.
What was your favorite part so far that you've read?
Well, in the first one, I liked it because it was just about this boy that was turning 8 and he did really funny stuff.
Okay.
Like he went out into town and he started to eat some random stuff.
So you like books that are pretty funny?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you told me a little bit that you chose it because you're almost 8. Tell me more about that.
Well, so I'm going to turn 8 in August 8th, so it's going to be my golden birthday.
Oh.
So my sister, she got this when she was 8, I think, for her birthday. And she gave it to me, and I really like it now.
Okay. So it's kind of a good fit because it's about 8-year-olds and you're almost 8.
Yeah.
So that's pretty helpful. Can you read a little bit for me? Just wherever you are.
Well, I'm just starting.
Okay.
Now in the middle of the earth lived a demon. This demon spent all his time roughing about in the dark tunnels, searching for precious metals and gems. He was hunchbacked and gnarly armed. His ears dropped over his shoulders like a wrinkly cloak. These kept him safe from the bits of rock that were always falling from the ceilings of his cave. He had only one eye, which was a fire to keep this fire alive. He had to feed it with gold and silver. Over this eye he cooked his dinner every night. It is hard to say what he ate. All kinds of fungus that grew in the airless dark and the rocks.
Okay, so what do you know about this demon so far?
Well, I know that he lives underground.
What does he look like?
He has long ears and one eye and little arms.
Didn't it say like his ears drooped over his shoulder like a cape?
Yeah.
That's kind of, what do you think of that? Would you want to meet him? Kind of creepy. I wonder if do you think he's going to be nice or mean?
Probably a little mean.
Yeah, sounds a little scary. And then he has one eye that keeps the fire going, so what do you think that's about?
Like cooking his dinner.
Yeah. So it must be a mean, scary, icky eye.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that it's a good fit, Just Right book for you?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because it has some words that are a little hard for me, but it's easy because we're learning about using context clues in class.
Oh, okay. So one of the reasons you like reading the books that you chose is because you really want to develop your ability to use context clues to figure out words that are hard?
Yeah.
Now, when you go to the library or you go to the classroom library to pick out a book, what do you do first?
Well, first I look at the back and read it and see if it's good for me and if it will be easy or really hard.
Okay. Do you ever read a page to see, read the first page or two?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. Has your teacher taught you about a strategy called iPick?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I'm going to go through the strategies and you tell me if you already do this without even thinking about it.
Okay.
So when you go into the library or to your classroom library, do you think, do I have a purpose for reading and what am I really interested in? I'm going to look for a book that meets those two things. Do you kind of think about that?
Mm-hmm.
And then do you think about, like, when you're reading the back or when you're skimming it, do you think, does this have too many hard words or just enough hard words? And while I'm reading the back or the first couple pages, am I getting it? Does it make sense to me? Do you think about that when you're choosing a book?
Oh, sometimes, but sometimes I just take it.
Okay. What happens if you start reading a few pages and it's just not working for you? It's not interesting or it seems to be too hard. What do you do?
Well, sometimes I try to tell my teacher and ask her what it means.
Okay. Do you ever just get a different book?
Yeah.
And is it okay in your classroom to do that, to be able to change out and keep different books in your bag? And
Yeah.
okay, great. Well, thank you. That's kind of the end of this particular one. How about, do you want to do another one or do you need to go? You probably need to go to recess, don't you?
Well, it's not even half done. We still have lots of time left.
Oh, okay. Can we do one more?
Sure.
Okay, let's find in here, right when you were reading, I noticed that you were using context clues, so I want to talk about that. So let's see. Let's go to the next page, and then when you get to a part where you're sort of struggling, let's stop and talk about a context clue that you're using. Okay. So how about to start his, and then keep reading.
His drink was mostly tar and oil, which he loved. There is no end of tar and oil in the middle of the earth. He rarely came up to the light. Once when he did, he saw the creatures that God was making. What's this? He cried when a grasshopper landed on his clawed horny foot. Then he saw lion, then cobra, then far above him eagle. My word, he said, and hurried back down into his dark caves to think about what he had seen.
So in this section, what are the three creatures that he saw?
So he saw an eagle, he saw a lion, and a cobra.
Have you seen pictures or real-life versions of a lion, a cobra, and an eagle before?
Well, I've seen an eagle and a lion, but not a cobra.
Okay. Do you have any idea what it looks like?
Mm-mm.
So what do you think it is? Because I noticed while you were reading, you struggled a little bit. So I think your brain was saying, oh, I better keep reading. Were you thinking about looking at the context and figuring out what we were reading about? So how did you figure out what a cobra might be, or are you not too sure still?
Well, once I saw like lion and eagle, I knew it was some sort of animal.
Okay. Do you know what it is?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So what could we do? What are some choices we can do? Because we're not sure what that word is.
We could either look at words around it, or we could
Could we keep reading and see if it tells us more?
yeah.
Or could we look and see if there's a picture, which there isn't. So probably, since we're not seeing it on the rest of the page, it might be a good idea to look it up, right? So maybe we can do that. Let's go do that. So I'm gonna, I like to stop when I'm reading. So we'll look up a dictionary, and let's look up, I think when you see what it is, it's gonna make sense to you. So it says it's any of several venomous Asian and African snakes. So let's see if we can find a picture, and then you can tell me if you've ever seen one before. You ever see one of these at the zoo?
Now that I'm looking at it, I've seen some on TV.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Well, thank you, Brianna. This was really great. Thank you so much for helping me. And you can go back to, I think your class is at recess, right?
Yep.
Thanks so much.